Hello, I'm Jim Manning, author of Patriotism, Unhinged, which is available worldwide through online retailers. Today, we're back with more from our historic interview with James Fowles. The issue today is David Ferrie. For those who are young or those who have not really gone too deep, you do know the name David Ferrie. But let me explain a little bit about who he was. He was involved with the Civil Air Patrol. There's a picture available of a group of people from the Civil Air Patrol. I know it has David Ferrie picture in it, and also Lee Harvey Oswald, and quite possibly may have D.H. Byrd's picture in it too, because he was the leader of the Civil Air Patrol. And that's the first thing that I ever saw of David Ferrie. And then we move on, and David Ferrie was a gay man who suffered from alopecia, which is the loss of hair. And that was quite hard because, he had no eyebrows and he had no hair on his head and so on and so forth. So he would use cosmetics and things like that. He was involved in a CIA plan that occurred in New Orleans with a Dr. Oxner, Dr. Mary Sherman, Judith Ferrie Baker, David Ferrie, and Lee Harvey Oswald, oddly enough. They were working on trying to come up with something that would give people cancer very quickly. And it involved using rodents, a lot of mice, things like that. They would get them, they would kill them, they would take needles and pull out things from their kidneys and liver. And that added with what they had already come up with would make up a serum that, if administered to somebody, would give them cancer and they would die quickly, especially if they got x-rayed. Because what happened was, every time you had an x-ray, it metastasized extremely fast, and some people were known to have died in 2 weeks if they were hospitalized and they were getting a lot of x-rays. I think this is what killed Jack Ruby. David Ferrie was very active in that. David Ferrie was a pilot. He is known to have been maybe the private pilot for Carlos Marcello, who was the kingpin mob guy in New Orleans. He was a CIA agent, provocateur, also close with Guy Bannister, also with the only guy that was ever indicted for the assassination, Clay Shaw. So that's sort of a background for him. James Fowles didn't like him at all.
Hey, David Ferrie, they wanted to get rid of him. They had their reasons, I guess. He's the one that stored the monkeys and the rabbits and the rats and everything for Dr. Mary to use for cancer research and such and so forth.
Yeah.
So anyway, they gave me the folder and studied it, looked at it. Went and paid David Ferrie a visit. When he opened the door, popped both the ears. And he was stunned momentarily, like somebody hits you like that, you lose all thoughts of everything for a moment. And he used a fingernail file, and I went to the palate of the mouth and pierced the brain. And registered he had a brain hemorrhage.
Oh, okay.
Aneurysm, or whatever you want to call it. So anyway, reach up there with your thumb, and you wipe away the one, maybe a drop of blood up there. But it closes the opening of it, because the top of the palate is like a jello almost. The flesh goes back together, and you wipe away the drop of blood. So I was in I was in my cell on a Sunday morning, and Godinez sent down. They called the cell house, told him bring me to his office. Tony Godinez was the warden. Tony Godinez and me were childhood friends. He grew up in the patch. I grew up out in Molos Park, but we still seen each other, and we talked a lot and ran around together. And went to his office, and I said, what's up? And he said, forget the guy's name. He said, so-and-so had the jet ready. And they wanted to fly up and talk to me about David Ferrie, about the murder of David Ferrie. And so when he got him on the phone, they told him they wanted to talk to me, and I told him, save your jet fuel. I got nothing to say. But when I gave the interview with the Confession of an Assassin, I talked about how David Ferrie was killed and why the fingernail file was used and not a knife. The fingernail file has rough edges on the side of it. So when you go through the palate, it like tears the tissue when it enters the brain. A knife doesn't tear. A knife only cuts.
Yeah.
So the knife automatically with the smooth, it was murder. With the fingernail file, he had an aneurysm.
Right. Got it.
So, and I told that in Confession of an Assassin. And then Jim, what's his name? He had the airplane ready. He wanted to come up there and see me at Stateville and talk to me about it. Garrison, I believe his last name was Garrison. Is that it, right? Jim Garrison's office. People wanted to come and talk to me about the David Ferrie. And I said, save your jet fuel. I got nothing to say.
Right.
And like I say, Gordon Ferrie in North Carolina, he is no relation to David Ferrie.
Yeah.
Gordon and me, we've talked quite a bit. Like I say, he come up, spent a few days with us, stayed with us. And like he said, the only problem I had, I never learned how to say no to an operation. And he figures he wrote out a lot of checks for my operations that I ran.
David Ferrie, I believe, would be a footnote in history because the last thing that I remember about David Ferrie was he flew two of the shooters, assassins, who were from Corsica. He flew them to Maryland. On the way to Canada, they stopped in Maryland at a safe house and were going to go the next day to Quebec or Montreal, and then they were going to be flown back to Marseille. However, the safe house in Maryland was set up, and the Mossad, this is their part of the assassination, they killed the two of them, and I don't know if it's true or not, but they said they were all cut up and put in crab pots. It's another significant piece of the JFK assassination story. Let us know what you think. Give us a comment. We're very interested in it. Thank you.